Hey everyone, it's your average millennial here, and you're probably wondering why I have a giant Hot Wheels track hanging from my apartment. This is actually 150 feet of track that I'm going to use to demonstrate a very simple technique on how to beat procrastination. To fully master procrastination, we must first understand where it comes from and why it's so hard to overcome. After that, I'll give you a really simple technique on how to conquer procrastination once and for all. Okay, so why does someone procrastinate? I've heard all of the reasons. I don't have time right now. I don't have enough information to start on the task. Something came up, or I've got too much else to do right now. I procrastinate because I'm lazy. Or my favorite is, I procrastinate because I work better under pressure. I've definitely said this one. All of those reasons are false. To put procrastination simply, procrastination is a habit. It's the habit of not wanting to. It's the habit of sitting on the couch instead of going to the gym. It's a habit of eating fast food instead of a clean, healthy meal. It's the habit of saying, I'll start tomorrow. No matter what you're procrastinating around, procrastination comes down to your personal habits. So if procrastination is just a habit, then what exactly is a habit? Habits are what our subconscious knows how to do to keep us going throughout the day. Unfortunately, our subconscious can't distinguish between a healthy habit like brushing your teeth or an unhealthy habit like when you come home from work you immediately grab a drink to relax. The subconscious, in regards to habits, only knows how to execute the habits we do daily to reduce the conscious effort we exert day in and day out. The subconscious cannot make or create new habits. This is something we must do consciously. Okay, so let's expand on this idea a little bit further. There are neuroscientific studies revealing that 95% of all cognitive actions are run through our subconscious. That means decision-making, emotional responses, your behaviors, and your day-to-day actions are all run through your subconscious. What that really means is that our subconscious runs who we are and what we do. But let me put an emphasis on runs who we are and what we do. It's like a computer running a program. The computer can't write the program by itself, it needs a programmer. So, let's look at this way. Your subconscious mind is the computer. The habit of procrastination you're doing is the program, and you consciously are the programmer, which means you can rewrite the program, or more importantly, you can rewire your subconscious to stop procrastinating. To recap, the subconscious runs who we are, but it does not get to choose who or what we will become in life. It just runs pre-existing habits that have been programmed into it. So now that we know how powerful the subconscious is, how does this help me get over my procrastination? Well, to explain the next part, I need to hand this off to the professor. Thank you very much, average millennial. I am your average professor, and I'm here to give you a quick physics lesson on Newton's first law of motion and how this correlates to people in everyday life. Newton's first law of motion states that an object in motion stays in motion, and an object at rest stays at rest until acted upon by another force. How this is similar to people is a procrastinator stays a procrastinator, and a person who is proactive will stay proactive. To explain this further, have you ever witnessed a super parent before? In my experience, it's someone who hits the gym early, is a boss at his or her career, gets the kids to soccer practice, and still has time to go grocery shopping and cook dinner. Once this person is in motion, this parent stays in motion. Now on the flip side of that is the super couch potato. This person will tell you that he or she doesn't have time to go to the gym, but while they don't have time for the gym, they will order in fast food and binge watch an entire series of their favorite television show. Once the procrastinator is at rest, the procrastinator stays at rest. To bring Newton's first law back in terms of an object, I have this wine glass. The wine glass is stationary and will stay stationary forever unless a force is applied to it. Once the force is applied, the wine glass will keep moving forever until there is another force used to stop it. For this demonstration, I have a Jedi and I have a Sith. Let's see what happens when the Jedi applies the Force onto the wine glass and when the Sith uses the dark side of the Force on the wine glass. As the Jedi uses the Force, the wine glass moves towards the edge of the table and will eventually fall off unless the Sith applies the dark side to the wine glass and counteracts it. Great. So, to recap, a wine glass at rest will stay at rest, and a procrastinator will stay a procrastinator. Both of these scenarios may change as long as a force is applied to either the wine glass or to the procrastinator. Now, to explain the psychology of procrastination more in depth, let me throw this back to your average millennial.
Thanks, Professor. What this helps explain is that we as people are just like the wine glass. As in, someone who procrastinates will stay a procrastinator, and someone who is proactive will stay proactive. To bring this back to habits, the only way to stop procrastinating is to break the habit or create a stronger habit of proactiveness.
We all know how hard it is to break a habit, and if you're watching this video, it probably isn't the first time you've tried to stop procrastinating. You may be procrastinating right now. It's so difficult to break a habit because it takes 3 weeks of effort to do so. So if we're the wine glass in Newton's first law, then the outside force is our conscious. This means you have to consciously exert effort 24/7 for 3 weeks to break a habit. 3 weeks is a long time and a lot of work. I knew this was something that I couldn't do with how my brain had developed and how my subconscious had been wired as an average millennial. I always broke down somewhere in the middle of the second week and then reverted back to my negative habits of playing video games and doing other recreational activities.
If we go back to Newton's first law, you don't necessarily need to break the habit of procrastination. Another way is to create a stronger habit of proactiveness. This is where my simple technique changed my life. With the science of breaking a habit taking 3 weeks, there's also the science of creating a habit that takes 1 week. And as your average millennial, I much rather work smart than hard. So when I learned that I could create a habit in 1 week, I had the thought that I could remove 2/3 of the stress, strain, and the work of breaking my habit of procrastination by creating a new habit of proactiveness. To do this, I started with a nightly list of 2 simple tasks. One was flossing every night, and the other was cleaning up the clutter in my apartment every night. Creating a habit of proactiveness wasn't about how simple or complex the task was. It was about creating the habit of doing something proactive and making progress every day. After completing a task on my list, I gained momentum and motivation to complete the next task. Little by little, the momentum added up and I started to speed through this racetrack of life with a simple task list. With the little tasks adding so much momentum and confidence in my life, I started to add more difficult activities to the list. Going to the gym, reading personal development books, and my favorite one of all, and my greatest tool still to this day, mindfulness meditation. The second week is where I really started to pick up speed. The dopamine feedback from all this progression was addicting, and the habit of being proactive had been formed. By the end of the third week, I was unstoppable. I was jumping over oceans of barriers that used to be so mentally exhausting and debilitating. This simple technique not only removed my procrastination around everyday tasks, it jump-started me on the path to manifesting my dreams. With this video coming to an end, I want to leave you with one last tip. When forming new habits and setting new goals, I highly recommend sharing this video with 2 close friends and asking them for support while you start this personal development. Having a support group for when life got tough and I got down on myself was invaluable. Support can be as simple as asking a friend to text you about how your progress is going. Something just to hold you accountable and keep you on task. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below with the dream you're working towards, and make sure to hit that subscribe button for future development hacks. Thanks again, and remember to always dream beyond your imagination.